JB's Budget Collecting and our Cash or Trash video where I make fun of the hot books of the week. That's really what this video seems to be mostly about. As the chat comes to see me like talk about how bad these books are and what people complain about what people are doing, and you lose my faith in humanity. I think that's really what these videos have become about. So as always, this is really, I'm looking at the CBSI Hot Top 10 from this week and the Comic Tom Key Collector Hottest Trending Comics of the Week, and I'm just giving my opinions. I do a look back at looking at this list 6 months from now. But right now, I'm just giving my opinions, what I think is going to happen. That's what this video is all about. We already got some people in the chat. No pressure, John. Jeez. Unruly Drive Safe, my friend. What's going on, VV? Chris Creative, thank you for hanging out. Chris Barrett, what is happening? All these books are trash. Let's just go on. All right, and we're done. There you go. Show over. Jimmy, what is happening? Deep House. Thank you for hanging out. Happy Sunday to you. Phil, what is going on? Hello. Thomas Vale, what's going on? Do you have any videos talking about or showing off your Detective 315? I think I have the unboxing video where I really talk about it, but which is from like almost 2 years ago now, a year and a half. But I don't know that I really talk about it otherwise. Fritzies, what's happening? Dr. Lovebox, what is going on? Loose. What's up? Let's see. All right. Looks like that's everybody that has showed up so far. Okay, so this week, I just want to say I'm pretty sure at this point, Tom and Key Collector are actively like keeping the books that are on the CBSI list off of their list. Because it used to be like consistently like 15, 16 different books and like 4 or 5 overlaps every week. Man, lately it's like 1. They're like, well, we'll put 1 on both lists. And like a couple of books they ignore, it's like, really? So, yeah. So I think they just want to make me do more work because I'm running down their list. I think it's really what's going on. So, all right, let's share this and start getting into these books. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. All right. So we have 4 option-related books this week. Okay. I just want to speak on this cover is fantastic in all the wrong ways. But this is G.I. Joe number 32, the first appearance of Lady J. And basically there was an announcement this week that she is getting a series on Amazon Prime. Let's see. Oh, Nola's God is in the house. Sam I Am, what is happening? Thank you for hanging out. So yeah, that's basically what's caused this book to hit the list. Raw copies jumped up to $75 plus. 9.8 are now going for $300. They were going for like $100 a week or so ago. I'm actually curious what they do with this. I will say that, like, I think taking kind of a G.I. Joe spy kind of thing, that they can make something good out of some of these characters. And I think this is one they could do something really cool with. But this isn't I'll Be Back. You never buy the week of an announcement. They're just talking about that they're going to do it. We're at least probably a year away. Yeah, this is wait, come back. People will kind of forget about the show for sure. So this is an easy to brand this one. Even if the show ultimately turns out to be good, this is still an I'll Be Back just because you got time. You got time, even if you're a big G.I. Joe fan. Now, I will say G.I. Joe books in general have been going up, like particularly the Silent Issue #1. Like there's been some jumping. So haven't really seen that with other characters. So maybe this book doesn't ever settle back where it was at by any means, but I do think it will settle below the hype at the moment. Darth Lopez, don't know if I said hello yet, but I will. Hello, Warlord. Oh, excuse me. What do we got next? Get back over here. There's my mouse. Next, we have Mortal Kombat, the collector's edition #1 from 1992. This is your first appearance of all these characters. This was a mail order only book, so this is kind of hard to find. Not a lot of these out there. And basically, a raw copy went for $300 this week with the release of the trailer. Here's the thing: as hard as this book is to find, I'm honestly surprised it was as cheap as it was beforehand. I guess there's not much going on with Mortal Kombat. With the movie coming over the next 6 months, I don't know that I see this book really coming down, just because it's so hard to find and so rare. And we've close enough to the movie. The movie's probably going to come out. My guess is over the next 6 months, at least, this is straight cash, just because, yeah, people are nuts. There you go. Collusion against each other. Yeah. There's only 2 G.I. Joe books that should sell for more than $5 raw and $20 graded. There you go. Trailer looked all right. Movie maybe. Yeah, I'm not convinced they can actually make a good Mortal Kombat movie. I just don't know that it lends itself well to a really good movie. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, to me, I think over the next 6 months, this is probably going to continue to go up, just because it's so hard to find. And with the movie, I'm not exactly sure what the release date is on the movie, but with the movie coming, I would be surprised if it drops significantly in the next 6 months. Next, Jupiter's Legacy. And this is basically the Millarverse is coming. They've been talking about, Tom and them have been talking about the Millar, that all of Mark Millar's books have been optioned by Netflix, and there's going to be a Millarverse and all this kind of BS. And basically, we haven't seen anything until we finally are getting this. I guess there was Magic Order or whatever, but that Netflix was a part of from the beginning. But this Jupiter's Legacy is coming now on May. In May, this is gonna come out on Netflix. And yeah, so that's caused this book to jump up basically just to a $10 book. But 9.8 went for $235. It's selling for $10 on average for Raws. This is way easy, and I'll be back. This is because it's only $10, I wouldn't call it a trap, but this is an I'll be back. Just wait till this kind of moves away. John. Yeah. This is true. Those are the 3 issues. Yeah, it was been in development hell for years, but apparently it's finally coming to Netflix. Yeah, most of these aren't going to happen. Yes, it was like a 9.8, and I think it's going to be way less than what it is now, but most of the copies are actually raw. That's why I would put it as just an I'll be back and not like a flat out trap. Now this is interesting. The next one is Department of Truth, number 1. And they're claiming this is on the list because there's news this week that the actual bidding is ongoing currently for option rights to this. But I feel like the things I was hearing was this was just hitting the list not because of that or was getting hot, not because of that necessarily, but because people were starting to jump on it like they jumped on Something Is Killing the Children, not to that degree yet. So if it's based on the option news, this is absolutely an I'll be back. My curiosity, and I will ask for chat because I have not read Department of Truth, because I don't usually pick up indies as they come out. This is one that's on my potential list for trades and doing the indie show and stuff later. So I'm curious if people think this has the legs to be Something Is Killing the Children. It's the same author, stand on its own regardless of the option news. So I'm curious what people think. Yeah, well, it's still only going for $25 for a raw copy on average. 9.8s are still only hitting 150. So yeah, I'm curious because I feel like the buzz I've heard is that this is going to be carried more by itself by the series than it is by any kind of option news. You are correct, Barrett, and that's why I'm curious if the book itself can carry it higher or if it's just option news. If it's option news, then it's worthless, or this is silly to be paying this. All right. Lux said it is not Something Is Killing the Children. So to me, and that seems to be the consensus, and that's where I put it. As I put it as an I'll be back. Is if this is just because of option news, then you're going to have tons of time. to get this. Now, so that's kind of how I looked at it. I didn't think there was the kind of buzz that was going to like came out in September. Yeah. So, all right. I was curious what you guys thought on that one. So, next we're going to jump into covers. First up, we have, excuse me, having a little issues at the moment. Haha number 2, the Gallagher variant. This was a store exclusive, limited to 500. Obviously, a homage to a classic Golden Age cover. And basically, this was the buy-in on this was like $35 for the set of trade dress and Virgin. And this is now the set's going for 100 to 125. The trade dress is going for 50. Given it's limited to 500, the question is how good a series this is will determine how good a legs it has. But given the homage, I don't know that this is crazy prices. I would still put it as an I'll be back. But it's not a store exclusive I would necessarily call a massive trap. Yep. Well, that's the thing. Is if the series is not, then this is a trap. If the series is good, the homage and the limited number, because it's limited to 500, could make it, be just an I'll be back. So that's where I'm at on this. But yeah, FOMO is nuts, and we'll get into some serious FOMO here in a little bit. Next, we have a repeat from last week. We have this Spider-Woman number 9 Rose Besh 1 in 25 variant. People are going nuts for this thing. Last week we were talking about it was 120 and jumping all the way up to 180 for some sales. Now it's 200 plus for this 1 in 25. And so I keep wanting to say this is a trap. This is a trap. But this artist suddenly people are going crazy for this artist. And by the next book you'll see on this list that we're talking about, I don't know if this is a trap. I think this, given how low, few people would order 25 copies of Spider-Woman for their shop, I think this may be able to sustain. I would still call it an I'll be back. I don't think it's a lot to say that it would keep going up from here. But I think it's going to stay, 150-ish at least. Then again, a couple of those Peach Momoko books ended up being $200, $300 books that people were chasing. So I don't know. Yeah, this is Barrett. Any book on these lists, Barrett says it's crap, but that's okay. Bad Hair Spider-Woman. I know some people don't like. I'm torn on whether or not I actually even like this cover, but I do think. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are going nuts for this. So too, everybody is suddenly all over this artist, and they're hunting now for this. People are paying $200 for this jump from a $5 book to a $200 book. Because this is her first cover art. This is the same Rose person. I guarantee you can find this in dollar bins in the kids section. They're and people are paying $200. People have lost their minds for this artist. But I honestly think this is definitely a trap. How many artists' first covers? You got to have some sustainability to be able to that completely drive a book. You can get Jim Lee's first cover for less than this. And I realize the timing is different, print run's probably different, all that kind of stuff. But really? We're going to pay $200 for this lady's first cover already? That seems nuts. $232 with 7 hours to go. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think that might be high personally, but this one to me is absolutely a trap. The next one, and I hate it when they do this. Clicking in the wrong spot is CBSI went, something is killing the children, it's hot. And they're just like, everything. Like, this was the cover picture they used. So this is the picture I used. But they're just talking about generally the series, like all the variants. Everything is just going crazy. Yep. I do think, like, super long term, this series is probably an I'll be back. Like, at this point, is that, once this series, I don't know how long they're going to run this series. Like, I can't imagine all of these covers are going to sustain this kind of value. But right now, and for the next 6 months, this is straight cash. I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. I just don't. The hype around this thing is too much. We're getting her origin story is like the next part. Like, yeah, they finished this first storyline, and now it's ending, and then we're getting her origin story. Like, I don't think this character or this book is going anywhere because people love it too much anytime soon. Yeah, well, they're not. I mean, this is not what they're talking about necessarily. They didn't put this cover on the list. This is just the one they used to represent the series. Like, is one of the variants that's going for big money. They were actually just talking about the whole series being super hot, and it is. And right now, I think something's killing the children. I don't see it slowing down. I really just don't. Next, we are going to move into kind of comic buzz. And so, Ultimate Fallout 4 is back on the list. So, I caught some flack a couple weeks ago, and rightfully so, because my information was a little bit dated. Because I talked about that everything Miles had cooled after the mania of last summer, which it did. Like, last summer, everything Miles went nuts, as we all know. And then by December, everything had cooled. This was back down to a $900 to $1,000 book. Everything had kind of cooled off. That is no longer the case. As we know, that the variant of this went for $20,000 recently in an auction, like a 9.8 went for $20,000, which is just stupid. This is now pushing back over $1,500. It's pushing. There was actually a sale for $2,000 again. It's pushing back up to $2,000. Whatever momentum slowed on Miles during the fall and into the winter is no longer the case. People are jumping back on this book. $2,500 last week. Yeah, it's jumped way back. Noah might be the one that told me that my information was dated whenever I told this a couple weeks ago. I can't remember if that was him or not. But like, because I hadn't looked for like a couple weeks, and in those couple weeks, like, this book has turned completely around. Yeah, it's $2,000 plus at this point again for 9.8. And it's at this point, you just gotta, like, Miles is just straight cash. I mean, you might get another lull like we got in October, November, December, where it kind of comes back a little bit, but the general trend on this book is going to be up or at these values or better. It's not slowing down. The lull was short and it didn't last very long. And Miles is, the 1 in 25 went for $20,000. It's just, wow. People got money. I don't know where people get all this money. I ain't never seen this kind of money. So good for you, man. Good for you. Oh, he was talking about the 1 in 25, something's killing children hit 2,500. Okay, so it is dated. But like, this went for over 2,000 again. So, yeah. And speaking of radioactive hot, like, the last three have all been, we all know this is straight cash. I just want to apologize to Jay Hood right now. Like, I'm sorry, Jay Hood. I feel for you, man. If you didn't know, I did a Collecting Smart earlier this week, and we were talking about Jay Hood, who'd saved up for this book, and it just took off on him. And like, and so he didn't know he was debating on what to do, and we were just talking about that on our Collecting Smart this week. And just to give you an idea of what's going on here, a 9.4 went for $6,100 back in late January. $6,100, big money for 9.4. It's now going for the most recent one went for well over 10. 9.2s jumped from 53 to 99. So for $9,900 on a 9.2. This book is doubling or more in every grade right now. It is suddenly like people are. This has always been a great book, always been a big key. I don't know why in the last 2 months people are going nuts for it, but they are. Yeah, who would have ever guessed? Yeah. Do a community fundraiser. Might have to at this point. Might have to. He had his eyes on one, and I really like it. Had been sitting there, even with everything going on. It had been sitting there for a while, and there was another one at the same grade that was auctioned. So he was like, "Okay, the auction should end maybe below where this buy it now that people aren't buying." The auction blew past the buy it now. The buy it now instantly disappeared when that happened, and then the auction ended up like $400 more. Like, and that was like a 3.5 at. I think the auction went for $2,700. Like, and that was way like he was originally targeting a 6. It's nuts. It's really crazy. Good for you, Eric. Good for you. So, the market right now is just insane. Yeah, we ain't seen any. I don't think we're seeing them anytime soon. Like, not for a couple of years. I would be very much surprised. But people are going after them. All right, next up, we have one that makes no sense to me. So we went from quality books to what the bleep? This is Young Avengers #1 from the 2013 run. So the second volume, not the first volume. This is the second print. It doesn't really have any first appearances for the characters that are the Young Avengers characters. I think there is one first appearance that's like a minor one. It's just kind of the first. It's a different version of the team, which appears to be closer to the version, I guess, that they think they're setting up in the MCU with the characters. But that's it. And people are suddenly paying. Was a $10 book and now paying $50+ for this second print. There's nothing here, folks. Like, and it's not even that cool a cover. This is a trap. This is a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. Why? Admiral Akbar says, why? Stop it. I don't think it's actually her first cover, though. Like, if it is, then that's not what, like, anybody, the listings and stuff were saying, but, yeah. Okay, next up. All right, we're going to move into our one DC movie news kind of thing. And that is Infinite Crisis #5, first appearance of the Jaime Reyes version of Blue Beetle. Hit the list because there was an announcement this week. A director was attached to a Blue Beetle movie. Here's my problem with this. And basically, raw copies are now 50, 9.8s are up to 300. Do we believe in Warner Brothers actually getting this out and making it? Like, we've heard, how long have we been hearing about the Flash movie? How long have we heard about Black Adam movie? How long have we heard about, they talked about a Batgirl movie, like 4 different versions and 3 different directors were attached and, like, nothing. Like, I think we may eventually get these, but my guess is we're years from this. This is DC, Warner Brothers does not have their crap together on these DC movies. I'll be back. I would not be jumping on this book right now. Patience, because who knows when we're actually going to see this. Yeah. It's been on the list a few times. This book has been on and off the list a few times because there's been rumors of a Blue Beetle movie. Well, seeing as the guy who's attached as a director said he was doing the Jaime Reyes version. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, okay. He's making fun of how I pronounce it. Hey, considering what's going on. I see what he was doing. Hope you and Delphi are having a good Sunday. Let's see. Yeah, because the suit, the suit has a mind of its own. But, that's not the first time we've had characters that had that kind of thing. All right. No, we got 2 more. We got 2 more here. So that was our DC book of the week. I would just be patient on this because I don't see this happening anytime soon. Next up, SpiderMan India, #1, the first appearance of, I forget the name of this guy. I didn't write it down. That was dumb. The Indian Spider-Man. I forgot to write down the name. And basically, there are rumors that this is going to be one of the versions of Spider-Man we're going to see in Spider-Verse #2, the animated movie. Raw copies of this jumped up to $20 to $50. This is another I'll be back. We're a ways out from this Spider-Verse movie. There's no reason to chase this book right now. Just because there's no, there it is. Puffer. Yeah. And there's no reason to chase this movie right now, or this book right now. Like, yeah, there was news. It's just a rumor. There's no confirmation on the rumor. Yeah. Just would wait on this one. Indian Spider-Man had to do. Yeah, there you go. Something like that. That's close. Yes. We're a long ways. There's no reason to chase these books. There's no reason to chase these books anyway if you don't actually want them in your collection, but that's just me. Next up, we have Sunfire and Big Hero 6, #1. This hit the list. This is that's what this is. Okay. First, this is not the first appearance of any of these characters. They appear in a random Alpha Flight book before this, like 19, I think. I didn't write it down. I should have written it down. Second, this is all based on that there were rumors going around that they were going to be coming. There was going to be a live action version of the Big Hero 6 characters coming to the Marvel MCU. It caused raw copies of this book to jump to 120, 9.8 to hit 515. Mind you, this is not their first appearance. This is not Baymax. This is not Hero. This is not Go-Go's first appearance. They all appear previously. And then Variety shot all these rumors down. No, there's no truth to this. This was just a rumor. The people that spread the rumor don't have a good reputation for knowing what's actually going on. Variety shot this down. Was absolutely a trap, and really, why are you spending money on this? It's not their first appearance. No, there is supposed to be an animated show coming or whatever, but yeah. Thank you, John. Oh my gosh, we're getting close. John asked if we could get to 65. It says 63 at the moment on mine, which is crazy. Hey, Disco, what is happening? Oh, Steven Spock jumped in. I think I missed Steven Spock. They did. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next up. Okay. This is... All right. The rest of the list, and there's several books left. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books left. All have to do with WandaVision in some way or shape or form. Most of them have to do with episode 7. So a week ago. The last one has to do completely with episode 8. If you're not caught up, I can't really talk about these without giving spoilers. So I want to give everybody the opportunity to not get spoiled on WandaVision. I realized I was pissed the other day. Like, I didn't get spoiled, but like I got up Friday morning, watched it, and went on the internet right after I finished watching it, like 6:15 in the morning Central Time. And the third post had spoilers in the image that you couldn't have went past it without seeing them. I was pissed at those people because that's ridiculous. Well, currently says 66 on mine, so that's crazy. Yeah, VV said he saw 67. So that's awesome. Thank you all for the support. I really appreciate that. So those were my WandaVision spoilers. Some of them are big, some of them are not, but because a lot of this is spec too. But I just wanted anybody who didn't want to be spoiled on anything related to WandaVision, who hasn't had a chance to get caught up, to hear me talk about these books, because it's going to be hard to talk about them without at least spoiling a little bit. Okay, with that, let's get into our last 5 books. First up, we have Marvel Spotlight #4. This is the third appearance of Werewolf by Night, so it is a book that has value anyway. But this is also the first appearance of the, Dark Home, which is the Book of Sins, which is the book. If you watch episode 7, there's a book glowing in the basement. That's the book everybody believes that. I don't know if she says the name of it. I don't think she does. But that's the book that everybody thinks Agatha has in her basement. So that is why people were specking on this book, on this comic. They're specking on the first appearance of a book. Yeah. 175, 9.0 going for 429. Mind you, like, this book had value because of the Werewolf by Night thing beforehand. So this wasn't completely based on this. Excuse me. This is still an I'll be back at best. If you want, like, this is an I'll be back for Werewolf by Night. This is an absolute trap for the Dark Home book. Like, even if it plays a major role, it's a book. Like, people aren't going to continue to spend big money for that. I only put this in I'll be back because it has the third appearance of Werewolf by Night. Is the only thing that, like, makes this not complete trash. Holy moly. That's amazing. I actually saw 74 for a second. That's nuts. Thank you all. Thank you. So that's the first, like, yeah, if there wasn't another key to it, I would say absolutely, come on, man, garbage. But it's because of that, it's still I'll be back. Next, we have Fantastic Four, number 185. First appearance of Nicholas Scratch, which is the son of Agatha Harkness. And obviously, she's been calling the bunny Mr. Scratchy. So everyone's specking that it's actually her son, that she's turned him into a bunny. I don't know. I think it's probably just going to be a rabbit in the show. It'll be interesting to see how much they use Agatha going forward. Right now, there's no, like, JB goes viral. Holy moly. Right now, there's no planned follow-up to this other than the movie. Like, they're not coming back with the series. I would be surprised if Nicholas Scratch becomes any part of the MCU in any way, shape, or form that's important. Maybe we get some reveal with her bunny, but I don't think... Yeah, I just don't see the value here. Basically, it jumped from a $8 to $10 book to $70. That's a trap. There's no graded ones of these because nobody's ever graded this. Well, I shouldn't say no, but there's virtually no graded ones because nobody's ever cared enough to grade this book for the most part. But $70? No. Come on. Oh, man. No. It is absolutely a trip. Okay. Let's see. Hey, we got Nerd Score in here. What's going on? All right. Next, we have West Coast Avengers number 61. Yes, not the West Coast Avengers you guys thought I was going to talk about. This is basically where... So this is all to do with one of the commercials, the Nexus commercial, like, which is like the drug thing, the antidepressant. And this is basically where it's revealed that Wanda is basically a Nexus being, and that the Nexus is this, like, connection between all the universes and stuff, and that she's a being that exists in the Nexus and therefore exists in all these different universes. And I don't understand all that crap. I think it's comics. But that's why people are specking on it, because of the commercial. And that they think we're going to get some kind of reveal here. $25 to $55 for this thing. Like, maybe the Nexus plays some role with her going forward, but... Oops, clicked on the wrong button. But at best, this is this. At best, it's just, yeah. Oh my gosh, they're still keeping count. The Nexus pills, yes. Well, we haven't got there yet. So, let's see. Airman thing. There you go. Okay, I need to Vincent. Oh Lord. But yeah, this is these are just so obscure specs at this point on things that have already they're specking on things that have already been like teased or in the show that they may just be like Easter eggs for fans. Like, and the fact that people are jumping on this, that's an Easter egg. Next, we have 2 books to go. Giant Size, where's my mouse? There it is. Giant Size Captain Marvel, #1. So her first appearance of Monica Rambeau blew up. Her first appearance as Photon, where she changes the name to Photon, which is what everybody thinks her name's going to be in the MCU, has blown up. This book is basically her first solo title, or first solo story, and the origin of her powers. So people have now moved on to this book. Kind of a cool cover. I could see it being like $40 for a raw copy. $3.50 for a 9.8 seems like a lot to me. I think this is definitely an I'll be back. I think Monica's gonna have some legs, but I feel like this is a little, like at the moment, the hype on this is a little too much. That you'll be able to do better than this as we go forward, especially seeing as if she doesn't appear again till Captain Marvel 2, we're a couple years from that. Like, if that's maybe we get her in the Miss Marvel show, but if we're not getting her till Captain Marvel 2, like, yeah, I think you definitely got time on this one for sure. John and his count is driving, it's killing me. I appreciate it, but it's just funny. 2 years ago, $1. Yeah. So, yeah, I would just be patient on this one. I think you can find a deal in the coming months. Holy moly, I just saw 82. I need to stop looking. All right. Last book. Okay, so this is pure spoilers for this week's episode. So if you have not caught up on WandaVision, leave, because I can't really talk about it. You can kind of see it in the background here, but can't really talk about it. And that is... like, you can know what the book is without me saying, but, like, it is, of course, West Coast Avengers #45, first appearance of the White Vision. So, get the reveal. I'm not going to go any further in details than that. And this book, which was a $200 to $250 book at a 9.8 in January, since Friday's episode, there's been 2 9.8 sales for $1,500. $1,500. Now, I realize there's not a ton of these graded at this moment. That's New Mutants 98 first appearance of Deadpool money for the first appearance of the White Vision. Raw copies are going for $75 to $100 on average. Like some like newsstand stuff are going for like over $200. So what happens if next week in the finale, I don't know, Wanda's version of Vision, Wanda, Captain Marvel, or Photon, Monica Rambeau destroy this White Vision that we've seen? Like, it gets destroyed next week. What did you just buy? What are the odds that he gets destroyed, and that's part of the whole thing, is her letting go of Vision completely and both versions get eliminated? What did you just buy for $1,500? You think this book maintains any value if that happens next week? You think that's not a strong possibility? Like, at this point, you're not specking on crap. This book will never be more valuable than it is right now. Why are you buying it? Why? This is... It's not that the book is terrible, but to purchase it right now is a dumpster fire. You are throwing money away. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing because I wanted to go back to me. It's crazy to me. I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, or maybe they end up in battle. They merge. Both get destroyed. Whatever happens here, like Total Vision. And here's the thing: if you didn't care about this character to pay $200 a month ago when the series was starting, and you had seen him in black and white, why are you paying $1,500 now? Why? What is wrong with you? You are not specking on crap. You are the sucker. FOMO is real. And this is like the only reason to buy right now is FOMO. And this is not a low print book. You can get this book. Oh, I didn't thought about that. That's awesome. Thank you for it. Oh, it's called FOMO. FOMO's money. Well, yeah. I mean, it's like awesome homage to the first appearance. It's great, but yeah. Yeah. Suckers. FOMO-rific. Yeah. All right. Those are our books this week, gang. I did my little preaching about West Coast Avengers. We're going to remove this. I want to thank you guys for hanging out. I don't know where we topped out. I think it was like 80-something, 80. Let's see, 83, John says. We're currently at 83. I don't know if that was in the high number. That's amazing. I want to thank you guys for all the support. As always, this is my opinion. I will be right. I will be wrong. I like to have fun with this. It's kind of, I get to rant and rave a little bit. So I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. Tonight, there will be a whatever report. Then we're going to go over to White Whale's channel and play some D&D on White Whale Comics channel. This is probably maybe the big finale, if not the second to last episode. We're going to be taking on Strahd probably tonight. And then tomorrow night on John's channel, we have Comigories. So jump over to this guy's channel. Drop your link, John, before we get out of here real quick. So people can come hang out tomorrow night for Comigories. We got Alex, the comic hoarder, going for his third win in a row, which if he gets it, he wins a 9.8 slab. So that's pretty cool. So it should be a lot of fun. Come hang out there. And actually, because I had to reschedule my indie show for this week, that's basically it till next weekend. So unless something else comes up. So thanks to everybody for watching. I'll give John just another second to drop his link. It is right there. So that's where his channel is. That's where you can find Comigories on Monday night. I want to thank everybody for hanging out, and we will catch you next time.